Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the part of world news where reality looks like a rejected Netflix script. Tonight, we roast the Kremlin, that magical land where job offers come with free military deployment, drone factories hire tourists, and the word volunteer means you're already in uniform. Let's start with breaking news. Ukraine just pulled off one of the biggest drone attacks since the war began, raining fire over 14 Russian regions, Crimea, and everywhere a vodka bottle could roll. Kyiv's military didn't just aim at buildings. Oh no, they hit an ammunition plant, an oil terminal, and a weapons depot, all part of Russia's How to Lose a War in Slow Motion starter pack. Now, the Russian government, ever the masters of creative storytelling, quickly announced that their perfect air defense systems shot down 251 drones. 251! Amazing, right? If you believe that, I've got a bridge in Crimea to sell you. It's called denial. Meanwhile, explosions lit up the Nizhny Novgorod region like a New Year's party nobody wanted to attend. The Ukrainian drones reportedly hit the Sverdlov ammunition plant, the place that supplies bombs, rockets, and possibly the ego boost Putin needs every morning. The governor claimed no facilities were damaged. Of course not. They just caught fire out of national pride. But here's where the comedy turns dark. And by dark, I mean Vladimir-level absurd. Apparently, Russia has been boosting its military numbers not with elite soldiers or experienced recruits, but with untrained Africans lured into Russia under the pretext of normal jobs. Yes, folks, this is not satire. The Kremlin is running a job scam that makes pyramid schemes look ethical. These young Africans were promised ordinary work, hospitality, factory jobs, maybe even construction. Instead, they ended up constructing drones. Because in Putin's Russia, you don't just build your career builds weapons. Some of these poor souls were shipped to the Alabuga Special Economic Zone, told they'd be earning rubles, and instead found themselves in military drone assembly lines, without training, safety gear, or even Google Translate to understand what the hell they were doing. Others were reportedly sent near front lines as assistants, which in Russia probably means target practice with benefits. You've got to admire the marketing, though. Come to Russia, see the snow, build drones, possibly meet a tank. 5-star reviews on the Ministry of Misfortune website. Now, remember, this is the same Russia that lectures the world about sovereignty while outsourcing its manpower like a shady HR firm. It's like Putin woke up one morning and said, "What if we just replaced half the army with interns?" And someone said, "Sir, from where?" And he said, "Africa. They love jobs." Meanwhile, Ukraine is on a roll. Not only are they striking deep into Russian territory, but they're also building a domestic defense industry faster than Russia can build excuses. President Zelensky proudly announced that 40% of Ukraine's weapons are now made at home, a country under fire, literally outproducing its invader. Ukraine's making drones, missiles, and even Bogdana artillery systems at the rate of 40 per month. Compare that to Russia's factory full of confused foreign workers asking, "Is this the kitchen or the missile bay?" Zelensky even said Ukraine might start exporting weapons by the end of the year, which, let's be honest, is the most Ukrainian flex ever. While you're invading us, we'll sell weapons to your friends. Thank you for funding our business model. But let's not forget the real losers in this comedy of errors, the African recruits who thought they were signing up for job opportunities and ended up becoming unwilling soldiers in Putin's circus. It's tragic and twisted, and it shows how low the Kremlin will go to feed its war machine. Imagine you apply for a cleaning job in Moscow and end up cleaning drone parts for the Russian army. Or you think you're going to study engineering, but your project turns out to be weaponized aviation bombs. That's not a scholarship, that's a draft notice in disguise. And yet, despite all this chaos, the strikes, the shortages, the fake recruits, Moscow continues to puff its chest on TV, saying everything is under control. Right, it's like a man whose house is on fire telling the neighbors, "Relax, we just installed a sauna." The truth is, Ukraine's drones are flying farther, hitting deeper, and embarrassing a military superpower that's now running on fumes and foreign interns. Putin's army used to be feared. Now it's being outsourced. So as Russia celebrates its latest victory, shooting down imaginary drones, the world watches a once mighty empire reduced to gaslighting its citizens and gaslighting foreign workers into war. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't the Red Army anymore. This is the Red Recruitment Agency. And at this rate, the next job ad might read, "Now hiring unpaid volunteers with no combat experience. Must bring own helmet. English optional. Obedience mandatory." Here is our conclusion. Russia's greatest threat isn't NATO, it's HR, human ruination. Ukraine's greatest strength isn't just technology, it's innovation and courage. And as for Putin, maybe it's time he stops promising the world and starts reading his own job description. President, not predator. If you laughed, cried, or just can't believe this madness is real, hit subscribe to Daily Roast News, where we roast global politics hotter than Ukrainian drones over Nizhny Novgorod. Because in a world this ridiculous, you either laugh or lose your mind.